So here, if you were to go out to portal.microsoft.com and you log in, it's going to ask you for your authentication credentials. So I'm going to go ahead and just log into the application here real quick. And so in my portal, this is where I would physically go in and do kind of my user management piece that I would be looking at. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add a user. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go over here onto the side where you have your users, and you're going to click on users to expand that out, and this will show you kind of a couple of different areas. So it'll have your active users as well as any other kind of deleted users. In this case, we'll go ahead and click on active users. It's then going to ask us to add a user. And so we'll go ahead and add the user into the application, and we can choose kind of whatever name for a user we want at this point. We'll just go ahead and call this user Alan Smith, and a username of Alan. And then I have an option here to either have the password auto-generated based upon, if I want to work with it from there, or I can just type the password. For our purposes and for the lab purposes, when you guys are working through the labs, I would just definitely recommend just typing a password. It's easier to keep track of at that point. So we'll go ahead and type a password. Then we'll go ahead and uncheck, make this person check their password at next time. Now, if this is a trial instance, just like you'll be doing in your lab, so this will only have one option available to us at this point since we don't have additional services added, and that's Dynamics CRM Online Professional. If this was a production environment or if this was a real world type of situation, I would have all of the different licenses that I have purchased from an Office 365 standpoint available for me to use at this point. Now, in this case, I will just go ahead and, because it's going to automatically assign the license, I can go ahead and hit create. Now, this user will be generated in the application, and they will automatically be added as a CRM user, so they will have a license within CRM. Now, they won't necessarily have access to anything yet. You still have to provide them a security role, and the specifics behind what security roles do, again, we'll talk a little bit about in another module, but they now at least have access to the system. Now, when you add a user to Office 365, the other thing to remember is all your users added will automatically be applied to the root business unit of your organization. And so if afterwards you need them to belong to a different business unit, you will have to move them once you go into the application. And we'll show you that as well once we get in here. But let's go ahead and let's just add one more user here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll add another user here. Add Mark Jones quick. And create. So now with both of my users created, now I can go into CRM and I can start kind of administrating them a little. So when I go back into CRM, now one of the first things that you're going to notice in here is I now get a prompt that's letting me know that I have security, or I have users that need security roles associated with them. So as soon as you add the users to the application or add them in your portal, once they become available in CRM Online, which can take a few minutes depending upon the situation, they will get a notification that you have users that do not have security roles associated with them. And so now I can click on this Assign Roles option, and this will take me into my application where I can actually go ahead and assign these individual people a security role. And again, we'll get into the specifics around security roles in the next module, but it's important to note that if a user does not have a security role in the application, they will not be able to go ahead and actually access the data when they attempt to log in. And so in this case, I could just go ahead and select the two users. There's an option up here to hit Manage Roles. I'll hit Manage Roles, and then I'll just pick a generalized security role that we can associate with each one of these individual items, and then we can go ahead and work with it from there. But again, we'll talk a little bit about them when we get into the next lesson or the next module from an application standpoint.